Hello, welcome back to some 1947 Strat-O-Matic baseball. Today I have the last day of Wednesday, April the 16th of the National League. This is the last game of the day. This is the New York Giants, obviously, at the Philadelphia Phillies. Yesterday's game, the Giants won handily 6-0. And the Giants were fourth in the National League this year. Had some incredible offense, not that great pitching. The Phillies came in seventh, as you can see. So we have a pretty good matchup today. Going for the Phillies is Schoolboy Rowe, who was 14-10 with a save with a 432. And, of course, he will later land with the Dodgers and have some success there with the Brooklyn club. And then going for the Giants is Larry Jensen, who was 21-5 with a 3.16 ERA. So he was the best pitcher that the Giants had. And so it looks like the Phillies have their work cut out for them today. So without further ado, here we go. So leading off for the Giants will be Bill Rigney. He hit a home run in yesterday's game. So he'll lead off against Schoolboy Rowe. We got righty versus righty. We have an average day at Shibe Park, and as you can see, it's evenly distributed for lefties and righties. 1 to 9 is a single, 1 to 3 is a home run. So a little bit of a pitcher's ballpark here today. So here we go. And I proceed to miss the tower. So we get a 1-7, and that's going to be a leadoff walk for Bill Rigney. That'll be his first walk of the year. And in this replay, it's as carded, so not as played. So it's me and the computer together are making lineups. So it looks like I am going to be managing the Giants today, and the computer will be doing the Phillies. So Rigney, if he gets a 5 or 6, he gets a lead. Rowe holds at a +9. Holy cow. I've never seen one that bad. Simonik is a 0 arm. So we'll see if he can get a lead. If he gets a 12, he's automatically out. So that's not a big chance. So let's see what he does. And he doesn't get a lead. And so he is down to 50%. So we'll see what we got. Buddy Kerr, New York shortstop. He bunts at an ace. And so we'll go ahead and lay down the bunt here. He's got an 80/6. That's one thing Strat Computer doesn't let you do is roll the dice on that. So it's bunted to Rowe, and he will throw on to first to get out number 1. So Bobby Thompson will step to the plate, famous for the 1951 shot heard around the world. And he was 2 for 3 yesterday with a triple. So again, the Giants won that game 6-0. So that's a 6-6, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Schoolboy Rowe will record the second out of the inning, and that brings up Johnny Mize, who had an incredible year. He had a 302 average, as you can see, 51 RBIs, 138 RBIs. So he had an amazing. So let's see if they pitch to him, and they're going to. So we got their left-handed Mize versus the right-handed Rowe, 2 out. Bill Rigney on second base. That's a 2-2 versus the righty. He needs a 1 to get a single, and he got a 9, so that's going to be hit hard to the second baseman. Bourbon will catch it to end the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left, half an inning. New York nothing, Philly coming to bat. So again, Larry Jensen taking the hill for the Giants here at Shibe Park in Philadelphia. This will be Newsom's first at bat. He hit .229 in the real-life campaign. He didn't play yesterday. Playing shortstop today for the Phillies. He gets a 3-7, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Bobby Thompson in center field. He'll track it down for out number 1. That brings up Harry the Cat Walker. And he was 1 for 4 with the triple yesterday. He hit 363 in the real life campaign, so he had a very good year. That's a 6-8 versus a lefty, but he proceeds to strike out this time for out number 2. Del Innes, who had a very good career, just starting out here. He hit 275, 12 home runs. He was 0 for 3 in yesterday's affair, so nobody on and 2 out. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a solid single. So the Phillies get their first base hit of the year. And he gets a lead automatically if you don't hold him, so we will hold him. And Johnny Weirstech, left-handed hitting right fielder, will step to the plate next. And looks like they're not going to try anything on the base paths with Del Innes. That's a 3-6, and that's a single to right field. Willard Marshall has a -3 arm, and Innes runs at a 12. There is 2 outs, but they're going to hold him at second. Not wanting to test Marshall's arm and make the third out at third base, which is a baseball cardinal no-no. So that brings up Andy Semenuk, decent hitting catcher, 13 home runs, 50 RBIs, hit 252. He was 1 for 3 yesterday. So Larry Jansen, righty versus righty, looking to get out of this 2-out pickle here. That's a 1-8, and he strikes out. So good job by Jansen. As Semenuk leaves a couple Phillies on base. 2 hits, and after 1, we're scoreless. Willard Marshall will lead off here in the top of the second. He was 1 for 4 in his first game yesterday. That's a 3-5, and that's a single to left field. So he slaps it the other way to Del Innes. And that's the first hit for the Giants this game. So if he gets a 7, he gets a really good opportunity. If he gets a 9, he's automatically thrown out. Walker Cooper, the Giant catcher, is up next. He hit 35 home runs. So just to give you an idea, Rigney hit 17 home runs. Thompson hit 29. Mize hit 51. Willard Marshall hit 36. Cooper hit 35. Sid Gordon hit 13. Lorky hit 11. So other than Buddy Kerr, everybody in the lineup had at least 10 home runs with 3 over 30 and 1 at 29. So, I mean, again, the Giants had a very powerful offense this year. So Walker Cooper bunts at a B, hits and runs at a C. So I'm just going to let him hit away. They got the corners in, the Phillies do, but we're going to let Cooper hit away here and see what he can do. 1-8, and he proceeds to hit a hard grounder to Newsom at shortstop. Underhands it to Verbin, who pivots onto Schultz, and Taylor made 6-4-3 double play. So perhaps we should have done something different. So that's 2 out, nobody on for Sid Gordon. He hit a home run in yesterday's affair. So he was 2 for 3. And that's a 2-7, and that's going to be a fly ball out to Walker in center field to end the inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left. We go to the bottom of the first, still 0-0. Lee Hanley is getting his first start, as he didn't start yesterday at third base today for the Phillies. He'll lead off here in the bottom of the second. Righty versus righty. That's a 2-3, and that's going to be hit down to Lorky at third. He'll fire on to Johnny Mize, who is a 5 at first base for out number 1. Howie Schultz due up next for the Phillies. playing first base today. He was 0 for 4 with a strikeout yesterday. That's a 111, and we got a ballpark check. It's 1-9, and we got a 1, so that will be a base hit for Schultz, the third hit for the Phillies. Let's see, he needs a 3-6 to get a lead, but if he gets a lead, he only has a 3. So he is not going anywhere, so Johnny Mize will play behind him. And I don't think they're going to bunt for the pitcher. However, Schoolboy Rowe is an 8 with power, so they might. So let's bring the corners in. Verbin was 1 for 3 yesterday, but he's not going to bunt. So let's see what he does. That's a 5-6, and that's hit hard to shortstop. And Kerr will fire on to Rigney, who fires on to Mize, and the Giants get a 6-4-3 of their own. Not to be outdone by the Phillies. All right, after 2 complete, we still are scoreless. So the Giants have 8, 9, and 1 due up here in the top of the third versus Schoolboy Rowe. Lorky was 0 for 4 in his first game. He gets a 6-9, and that's trouble. That's an 11, and he has power, so it is gone. So Lorky gets a hold of a Rowe fastball and deposits it into the left field bleachers. Boom. 1-0 Giants. That's obviously his first home run of the 1947 season. I'll bring up Larry Jansen, who's a 3-hitter with no power. So nobody on, nobody out. And that's a 6-9, and that's going to be a double. So Rowe having some trouble here. As Jansen hits one into the gap in left center field. Walker will chase it down, but not before Jansen is on with a double, and obviously his first double of the year. So that brings Bill Rigney to the plate. Bill Rigney walked to lead off, but was left at second base in the first inning. And that's a 6-4, and that's a catcher's card. Semenuk is a 2-3, so he's a pretty good defensive catcher. We'll see if he can make the play here. So he gets a 20, so that's going to help him. And he gets a 6-8, so it looks like he is going to make the play. It's a ground ball in front of home. Jansen can try to go to third. He's got a 1-8 chance, so we're not going to take that odds. So Semenuk will look Jansen back to second, fire on to first to retire Bill Rigney for out number 1. Crap. Hang on a second. I hit the wrong button. All right, so edit, undo. Okay, so Kerr did a 6-4. And then we got a 20 and an 8. We want to hold the runner, and he will be retired. So there we go. All right, so that brings up Buddy Kerr, who hit a sacrifice bunt. So he tried to get Jansen in from second. And he gets a 2-8, and that's going to be a strikeout. So strikeout number 2 for Schoolboy Rowe. 2 out. With Larry Jansen still on second base for Bobby Thompson, who struck out in his first at-bat of the game. He gets a 1-12, and that's a fly ball out to center field. Hit deep, but Harry Walker is able to track it down to end the inning. So they get a run on 2 hits, no errors. They leave a runner on. We go to the home half of the third. New York Giants 1, Philadelphia Phillies nothing. So Schoolboy Rowe will start off the festivities here in the bottom of the third. And again, he is an 8 with power. So that man can hit. He gets a 4-2, and he's going to draw a walk. That's the first one issued by Larry Jansen today. Ideally, you don't want to do it versus the pitcher, but again, Schoolboy Rowe doesn't hit as your normal pitcher, but he does run as a normal pitcher, so they're going to play behind him at first. They got Newsom, who is a D bunter, so I'm going to play the infield back, and they're not going to bunt. So Newsom flew out to Marshall and right his first at bat, and that's a 2-7, and that's a solid single to right field. Again, Marshall has a -3 arm, so they'll probably hold Rowe up at second base, and they do. So that put runners on first and second with nobody out for Harry Walker, who is a good bunter. He's also their best hitter, so I'm going to play the infield back, and they're going to bunt. So it's fielded by Johnny Mize, and he throws to first, and he gets the job done. So interesting strategy there. So that does put runners on second and third. It takes the bat out of your best hitter, at least average-wise. So that'll bring Del Ennis to the plate. He singled his first at bat. So there's kind of early in the game. So I'm going to play the infield back. I'm going to concede the run, not to get a big inning here. At least that's the plan. That's a 2-5, but the plan backfires as Del Ennis hits a 2-star single. So the Phillies plate their first 2 runs of the year after being blanked yesterday. So a 2-run single as Rowe scores from third. Newsom scores from second. And the Phillies go up 2-1. Del Ennis with his first 2 RBIs of the year. And he will be held on first. So Johnny Weirstech, who singled in his first at bat. We'll see if he can keep the rally going here in the third for the Phils. That's a 2-6, and that's a fly ball out to left field. Sid Gordon patrolling out there will put it away for out number 2. So Andy Seminick struck out to end the first. Jensen would like to have similar results here to end the third. Righty versus righty. Jensen look into Cooper for the sign. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be a 2-star single. So Del Ennis will make it to third as Marshall will fire it into second. With 2 outs, Ennis was obviously running with the pitch. And the Phillies have runners on the corner for Lee Hanley. Hanley grounded out to start the second. So they're going to play behind Seminick. And looks like Hanley is a clutch hitter as his 3-7 and 3-11 changed to singles. So 3-7, that's a pretty good chance. So Jensen again with his work cut out here, trying to keep the lead down to 1. That's a 6-2. That's a fly out to Sid Gordon and an X chance. He's a 3-10, which isn't great. So hopefully he can make the play. So he gets a 7, so he gets to the ball. And he gets in 7-11, and he makes the play. So good defense by Sid Gordon. He's able to track it down for out number 3. But the Phillies plate 2. 3 base hits, no errors. They leave a couple on, and so after 3 complete, the Phillies jump out by 1. So we got 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Giants here in the top of the 4th. Johnny Mize. He lined out to second base, leaving a runner on in the first inning. We'll lead off here in the 4th. That's a 3-12, and he's going to be hit by a pitch. So Johnny Mize was a pretty big guy. Probably not somebody you want to hack off too much. But he gets hit, and he will take his base. So Willard Marshall, he's singled in his first at bat. And Johnny Mize, if he can get a lead, he will. But he needs a 2 to do that. So we will try. No chance of being caught out or caught. So he does not get the lead. So he will hang out there. So Willard Marshall, with nobody out, he is a B hitting runner. But he's got 36 taters. So you kind of hate to. Looks like the Giants' offense wasn't really geared for small ball. So we'll let him hit away. That's a 112. He needs a 9 for a single, and he got it. That's a 1-star single. So Mize, who runs at an 8, will just get as far as second base on that one. Second hit of the day for Willard Marshall. All right, so Cooper, they got the corners in looking for a bunt. Cooper is a B bunter. But again, he had 35 home runs, so we're going to let him hit away. So you got the slow Mize at second base. Marshall, who runs at a 13 at first. Cooper hitting to a double play his last at bat. That's a 4-6, and he strikes out this time. So not as bad as a double play, but not good either. So Sid Gordon, he flew out to center field in his first effort. We'll see if he can do better here in his second. Sid Gordon, obviously, he in 1953 was on my Milwaukee Braves team. That's a 3-12, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher. They'll fire on to second base, but that's all they will get. Mize makes it to third. That's, I don't know why I was putting 3 for. That's a 1-4 for out number 2. Sid Gordon on with the fielder's choice as he hustles down the line to stay out of the double play. And they're going to play behind him. He doesn't automatically get a lead, and he's automatically out on 9, 10, and 12. So with 2 outs, we'll just let Lorky hit. He hit a solo home run his last at bat. See if he can fare that well again here in his second one. That's a 5-7, and that's trouble. That's going to be a 2-star single. So we got a 5-7, rolled an 11 on the 20. And that's going to keep runners on the corner, and the Giants have tied it up as Mize scores easily. Gordon will race to third, and Lorky on with his second RBI of the game. So he's single-handedly keeping the Giants in this game. So we're not going to try to steal. We'll let Jansen see if he can get through the lineup here. However, Jansen doubled in his last at-bat, but he is not known as a good hitting pitcher. He gets a 3-6, and he proceeds to whiff this time. So Schoolboy Rowe doesn't mess around with him this at-bat, and that'll do it for the Giants. However, they get a run on a couple hits, no errors. They leave 2 on, and after 3.5, we are tied at 2. So Larry Jansen takes the mound here in the bottom of the 4th. He's got 7, 8, and 9. So Howie Schultz singled and was erased on a double play in his first at-bat. Will lead off here. That's a 6-3, and that's a ballpark single check, and it's 1-9. Got a 5, so he has a single. His second single of the day. And that brings up the second baseman, Emil Verbin. So I don't think they're going to, well, again, for the pitcher, they might, but I'm going to play the infield back. And they're going to hit away. So playing behind Schultz, who's not a threat to steal. That's a 2-7, and that's hit hard to shortstop. Kerr fields it cleanly. Throws on to Rigney, who pivots on to Mize, and that is another double play. That's actually the second one Verbin has hit into. So not his day, hitting into 2 of those in a row. It's not going to endear you with your teammates, so that brings Schoolboy Rowe, who can hit, but he comes up with nobody on and 2 out. He walked and scored his first at bat. And that's a 4-8, and that'll be a fly ball out to Sid Gordon in left field. He waits for it to come down, and that'll do it in the 4th. No runs a hit, no errors, nobody left on. After 4 complete, we are tied at 2. Top of the order for the Giants here in their half of the 5th. We have average weather today. So Rigney has walked and bounced or grounded out to the catcher. Again, he had a home run in yesterday's game, and that's the only hit he's had this year so far. That's a 111, and he got a ballpark home run check, but you needed a 3 today, and he got a 9. So the ballpark keeps it in the ballpark this time. So he hits it deep. But Del Ennis will track it down for out number 1. Buddy Kerr is sacrificed and struck out. 1 out, nobody on, righty versus righty. That's a 5-7, and that's going to be a double. So that's going to be the first double of the year for Kerr. So he hits one to deep center field, Walker over Walker's head. So Walker chases it down, not able to get to it, and Kerr will coast into a double with the second with a double, his first of the 1947 campaign. So Bobby Thompson, Kerr, who runs at a 13, has a 50% chance of stealing third, but we're not going to do that with our sluggers coming up. So Bobby Thompson's 0 for 2. He gets a 2-4, and he's going to pop it up behind the plate. Semenuk tosses off the mask and will put it away in foul territory for out number 2. So Thompson not able to get on top of the row fastball. Gets under it and pops it up to Semenuk for out number 2. So that brings up Johnny Mize, and they're going to pitch to him. He was hit by a pitch and lined out to 4, obviously with 51 home runs. Very dangerous hitter. That's a 1-8, and that's gone. He gets all of that one. No question about it. Boom, to right center field. And Walker will just kind of watch that one go out of the park. So that's home run number 1 for Johnny Mize this year. And that puts the Giants up 4-2. So Willard Marshall, bases cleared, 2 outs. He's 2 for 2 today. So Schoolboy Rowe would like to take that one back. That's a 5-5, and that's hit hard to Schultz at first base, but he'll spear it for out number 3. So 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on. We go to the bottom of the 5th. New York out 4-2. So Jansen seeing if he can hold this lead. Johnny Mize has given him. We'll start off with the top of the lineup, actually. So Skeeter Newsom, who's singled and flied out, will start off here in the home half of the 5th. That's a 3-9, and that's going to be bounced back to the pitcher. Jensen will field it cleanly and walk it over to Mize for out number 1. Harry Walker is struck out and hit a sacrifice bunt. Again, he hit 363 this year, so 63 walks. Very good year for him. That's a 5-5. That's going to be a fly ball out to left field, or right field, rather. Marshall will put it away for out number 2. So 2 out, nobody on for Del Ennis, who is 2 for 2 with an RBI, or a 2-run single, rather, which accounts for both of the Philly runs today. He gets a 6-9, and he is going to whiff. So Jansen fools him with a strike or a changeup there, right down the middle, expecting something else. And so they are retired in order here in the 5th. So we go to the top of the 6th. New York Giants 4, Philadelphia Phillies 2. Walker Cooper will lead things off. He's hit into a double play and struck out, so not his finest day ever. He gets a 5-9, and that's going to be hit down to third to Hopper to Hanley, who will set and throw on to Schultz, out number 1. Sid Gordon is 0 for 2. That's a 5-6, and that's hit hard to shortstop. Skeeter Newsom will field it cleanly for out number 2. So that brings up Lorky, who's homered and singled in a run, so he's had a fine day between him and Johnny Mize. So he's 2 for 2. 2 for 6 for the, or 3 for 6 for the year. 2 for 6 for the year. 5-6, and that's hit to short as well. So Newsom will get his second shot in a row, and he is up to the task. So Schoolboy Rowe retires his men in order. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. The Giants still up by 2. So we got 4, 5, and 6. So Johnny Weirstech, who singled and flied out, will lead off. And that's a 1-7, and that's hit hard to Kerr at shortstop. And he will throw him out for that first out of the inning. Andy Semenick, who becomes a Red later on in his career. I know he's with them in 54. Is 1 for 2. And he gets a 6-6, and that's trouble. That's going to be a double, his first of the year. So he hits that to deep center field. Thompson not able to chase it down. And left center field will throw it back in, and Semenick is on with his first double of the year. So he runs at a 9, so they're not going to hold him on. Lee Hanley, who is 0 for 2. We'll see if he can get him home. That's a 5-9, and that's a fly ball out to center field, medium depth. Thompson will get to that one for out number 1. And Semenick will hold at second. So that brings up Schultz, who is 2 for 2 today. He is not a clutch hitter. His 1-3, 1-5, and 1-6 turn to pop-outs. And that's a 6-5, and that doesn't matter as he has a power, and that is out of here. So how about that? That's the first home run of the year for Howie Schultz. And we have a tie ball game. So home run number 1 of the year for Schultz. His third hit of the game. And we are tied at 4. So neither pitcher terribly sharp today. So that brings up Verbin, who is hitting to 2 double plays. So at least he can't do that this at bat. He gets a 1-11, and he gets a ballpark single check single. So that's the 10th hit today for the Phillies. So the Giants got people warming up in the bullpen. Is Schoolboy Rowe, who has walked and flied out. Again, he's an 8 with power. And he gets a 3-3, but that's going to be hit down to second base. Rigney will throw on to first, and that will retire the Phillies here in the 6th. But they get 2 runs on 3 base hits, no errors, 1 runner left. So we go to the top of the 7th, tied at 4. So Larry Jensen will lead off here in the 6th. So I think we're going to go ahead and let him hit, even though it's still kind of early in the game, even though he has not been terribly sharp. And he gets a 1-6, and that's a ground ball to shortstop. Newsom fires out for number 1. Bill Rigney is 0 for 2 with a walk. So again, Rowe has to contend with this powerhouse Giant lineup. That's a 1-3. That's a ballpark single check. He needs a 9, but he got a 15. So that's going to be an out. Ground ball to third for out number 2. Buddy Kerr is doubled and scored. And that's a 2-9, and he hits a hard grounder to short. Newsom will field it in the hole. Throw across his body for out number 3. 7th inning stretch time here in Philadelphia. We have a 4-4 tie. Let's see our trivia question. Name a pitcher for the 1969-1973 Cardinals whose last name is identical to the second president of the United States. I don't know. Reggie Cleveland. Okay. All right. So Larry Jansen is facing the top of the Philly lineup. We'll start with Skeeter Newsom, who is 1 for 3. Seeing if he can keep this ball game tied for the Giants. And I missed the tower. And that's a 1-8, and that's going to be lined out to third. Lorky will stab it for out number 1. Harry Walker is 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Left-handed hitter versus the right-handed Jansen. Cooper gives the sign to Jansen. Here's the pitch. That's a 1-4, and that's out of here. How about that? Harry Walker hits 1 home run all year in 513 at-bats. He needed a 1-4 and got a 3. So anything can happen. So he gets a hold of that one and deposited it over the right center field fence, and the Phillies are up by 1. Yeah, the Giants don't have good pitching anyway, so when your best pitcher is not doing well, that is tough. All right, so Del Ennis, who is 2 for 3. So the Giants still got the bullpen going. Let's see what Jensen can do here to get out of it. That's a 1-10. That's lined out to third, so they're hitting it hard, but 2 times right at Lorky. So that brings up Johnny Weirstech, who's 1 for 3, hitting .286 on the year so far. 2 for 7. And that's a 1-4, and that's he needs a 9, and he got it for the single ballpark check as he rolled a 1. And I hit the wrong button. Bear with me a sec. Always thankful for the undo button. So let's try that again. 1-4. Rolled a 1. So that's a single for Weirstech. And Andy Simonek will step up. He's 2 for 3 with a double. Philly's got 11 hits today. So we'll give Jansen one more chance here. See if he can get through Simonek. So far, he hasn't much today. That's a 5-4, and that's a catcher. Cooper is a 2-12. So a good chance for an error. So let's see what Cooper can do. He gets a 2, so that's going to be a wild pitch probably. And he gets a 6, and he commits an error to boot. So that's actually just going to be a one-base error by Cooper. So that's the first error of the game. As Walker Cooper's not able to field it cleanly. So that brings up handling. So we'll give Jansen again. Jansen's about the best pitcher they have, so we'll see what he can do to get out of this. That's a 5-5, and that's hit down to short. Kerr will field it cleanly as it's hit pretty hard, and he'll throw to first to get the third out of the inning, but not before the Phillies take the lead again. They get a run on a couple hits. There was 1 error, 2 runners left. So thanks to the Harry Walker homer, the Phillies are up 5-4. So we got 3, 4, and 5 due for the Giants. Again, 29, 51, 36, 35 home runs here. So Rowe has got his work cut out for him as Thompson's 0 for 3 today. Again, you didn't see too many offenses like this back in those days. So that's a 2-3, and that's bounced back to the pitcher. So Bobby Thompson is 0 for 4 today as he is retired on the grounder back to the mound for out number 1. Johnny Mize has a 2-run home run today. Looking for another one here to tie it up. And that's going to be a 2-6, and he's going to draw a walk. His first walk of the year. He walked 74 times in the 47 season. If he gets a 2, he's going to steal a base, so we'll see if he can do that. Because he doesn't have a chance to get thrown out, so we'll see if he can get that 2. And he doesn't, as he cannot get the lead. So Willard Marshall is 2 for 3. So Mize, who runs at an 8 at first base. That's a 4-8, and the lefty, that's popped up on the infield. And Emil Verbin will call everyone off, and that's out number 2. So it's up to Walker Cooper here. This is probably going to be their best chance because in the 9th, they don't have the heart of the lineup. So Walker Cooper is 0 for 3 today, hit into a double play, struck out and grounded to third. And he gets a 4-5, so that's a shortstop X. Newsom at short is not a good fielding shortstop at a 424. So we'll see if he can make the play. And we get a 3, so he can't. And that's a 5-8, so he doesn't make an error, but he's not able to get to it. So Mize will make it to third. Cooper to first for his first base hit of this game. And it's up to Sid Gordon. So Sid Gordon is a clutch hitter. His 2-3 and 2-7 turned to singles. Looks like they're going to stick with Schoolboy Rowe. Gordon's 0 for 3 today. So here's a big at bat. Mize on first, Cooper on first. Sid Gordon looking to take care of business here. And he gets a 1-7, and that's a single to left. So Mize will score easily. They're going to hold Cooper at first, or at second rather, because 1-6, yeah, so we're not going to chance that. So we have a tie ball game again. And Schoolboy Rowe is tired. So Gordon with the big RBI single. That brings up Lorkey, so they'll probably bring in a reliever for Rowe. And they're going to. So Blix Donnelly. Oop, that's the wrong team. Blix Donnelly will take over. Yeah, yesterday, Dutch Leonard got beat up pretty good. So Blix Donnelly, who was 4-6, 5 saves, 2.98 ERA, so pretty good pitcher. Right-handed pitcher, so he'll face Lorkey, who is 2 for 3. So looking to see if he can put the Giants up here with Cooper at second. Should we pinch run? You almost have to. With the tying run at second. Let's see, who do we got? See, we got Lombardi catching. So let's see, the quickest runner we got. Try to get a good runner who can't hit. Let's see, Clint Harding can hit. So we'll go ahead and put Gary Gearhart in it at second base. So Gearhart in for Cooper. So he's going to pitch run. So that puts Gearhart in at second base. So he's a 15 runner. So Lorkey with a much better chance of getting him home. All right. So Lorkey, again, 2 for 3 today. And I missed the tower again. That's a 1-6, and that's going to do it. That's a 2-star single. So we could have left Cooper out there. It wouldn't have mattered. But Lorkey is going to put the Giants ahead with his third hit of the day, the 10th hit of the day for the Cardinals, or for the Giants. Gordon will make it to third easily. So that's actually not Cooper. That is, who did I bring in? Gearhart. So he's going to score. Gordon. So big hit for Lorky. There's the Giants come through big. So that brings up Larry Jansen. Let's see, he's actually a 9, so we're going to see if he can finish it because that's the way they did things in those days. So we'll let him hit. He does have a double today. 110. And how about that? That's going to be a single. So Larry Jensen off his own card lines one up the middle and gives himself a little bit extra lead. So they're going to send Lorky to third. He needs a 1-17. And they're going to cut off the throw and let him have it. So that'll put Lorky. Jansen with the big RBI single, and the Giants are up by 2. So they're not going to hold Jansen. That brings up Bill Rigney, who's 0 for 3 with a walk today. So Donnelly, who's normally a pretty good pitcher, not doing so hot here early on. And he's going to be, a hit by pitch with injury possibly. So I am doing injuries. So that hits Rigney. And he's going to be out 8 days in addition to the rest of this one. So that's not good for the Giants. So he's hit by a pitch. And that's going to need to be, let's see who they have that plays second base. Mickey Weidick plays second. Buddy Blattner. Looks like Whitney's a little better of a second baseman. Bobby Moran plays second, but he's a 5. Ooh. So we'll go ahead and bring in Buddy Blattner to take his spot. So Blattner will go into pinch run for Rigney, and he will take up his place at second base at the bottom half of the 9th. So that brings up Buddy Kerr, who is 1 for 4. So that's just the third injury I've had so far. So I've played a few games. So that's a 6-8, and he's going to draw a walk. So how about that? So the Giants just keep adding insult to injury as they have batted around now. So Lorky scores. Johnson to third. The new guy to second, Blattney. Kerr walks in a run. And they are hitting around as Bobby Thompson, who led off the inning with a ground out, will get his second chance of the inning. So they're going to hang with Donnelly. So Thompson with a chance to really put this one away. And he gets a 1-3, but he's going to hit it down to third, and Hanley will throw him out to end the inning. So a big inning as the Giants plate 4 on 1, 2, 3, 4 base hits. No errors. They leave the bases loaded. Oh, wait, it's just the 8th inning. I thought it was the 9th. Okay, so we got to put a new catcher in. So it looks like Lombardi. We'll put him in at catcher. And then Blattner will play second. And then we'll leave Jansen in to see if he can finish it up. So we're in the bottom of the 8th. I don't know why I thought it was the 9th. All right, so Larry Jansen will start off with Howie Schultz, who is 3 for 3 with a 2-run home run. That was his first of the year. That's a 5-6, and that's hit hard down to shortstop. Kerr will throw him out for out number 1. So that brings up Emil Verbin, who is a single and grounded into 2 double plays. That's It's a 3-5, and that's hit out to right field as he goes the opposite way. Marshall will take it for out number 2. So that brings up the pitcher's spot. So I imagine they'll probably pinch hit for Donnelly, and they're going to. Looks like they're going to bring in Ralph LaPointe, who started in yesterday's game. Went 1 for 4. So 2 out, nobody on. Righty versus righty. Jensen looking to see if he can get him out here in the 8th. That's a 6-9, and he strikes him out. So Larry Jensen buckling down here with the lead. Retires the Phillies in order in the 8th. So we go to the top of the 9th. New York 8, Philadelphia 5. So it looks like Tommy Hughes will be taking the pitching duties for the Phillies. Tommy Hughes, this will be his first appearance of the year. He was 4-11 with a save and a 3.47 ERA in real life. He's going to start out with Johnny Mize, who is walked, hit by a pitch, and hit a 2-run home run. Giants with a 3-run lead here in the top of the 9th. And that's a 3-4. That's a ballpark single check, and he got a 3. He needed a 9. So Mize finds a single, a seeing eye single for his second hit of the game. Mize again is a slow runner, but again, if he gets a 2, he can steal. But with a 3-run lead, we'll just let Marshall hit away. Marshall's 2 for 4. And he gets a 2-6, and that's going to be trouble. That's going to be a triple. His first triple of the year. And that's hit deep to right center. That's going to find the light post out there and bounce weirdly off the wall. Mize will score easily. Marshall in with his third base hit of the year, first triple, and an RBI. So that brings up Ernie Lombardi, who's in to catch. And this will be his first. So actually, I need to get his card. So this will be his first at bat of the year, as Cooper has played all so far. So Ernie Lombardi, the infield is in with just nobody out. Marshall at third. He runs at a 13. That's a 5-5, and that's going to be a single. So Lombardi gets an RBI single in his first at bat of the year. And the Giants are up by 4. So Sid Gordon is 1 for 4 with an RBI today. So the Giants have got 14 hits. So not a pitcher's duel in this one. That's a 5-10, and that's going to be hit hard to shortstop. Newsom will fire onto Verbin, onto Schultz, and that's a 6-4-3 double play. So that brings up Lorky, who's had a heck of a day. He's 3 for 4. He's driven in 3 runs, has a home run. So Hughes, seeing if he can get out of this inning without any more damage than that, is a 3-8, and that's going to be hit hard to third, and Hanley will catch the liner to end the inning. But the Giants played another one on 3 base hits, no errors. Actually, they scored 2, so that Marshall scored on that double play. Right. Nobody left on. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Giants up by 5. So here's Jansen seeing if he can get the complete game. It's not a pretty one, but he'll take it. So he'll start off with Skeeter Newsom, who's 1 for 4. Again, Jansen's tire rating is 9, so He gets a 3-7, and that's a fly ball out to Bobby Thompson for out number 1. That brings up Harry Walker, who has a home run and 3 plate appearances. He also has a sacrifice, so he got his 1 home run of the year early because he had 1 in 513 at-bats. He gets a 4-7, and that's going to be a strikeout. So Larry Jensen getting his 2nd win. Retired him in order last inning. 1 out away from doing it again here in the 9th. So he's got Del Enos, who is 2 for 4, has a couple RBIs. And that's a 1-5, and that's a fly ball the opposite way out to right field. Marshall will track it down, and that will do it. So Larry Jensen with the complete game ends up with the win. So we'll look at the box score real quick. I know you won't be able to see it. So 10 runs, 14 hits, an error for the Giants, 5, 12, and 0 for the Phillies. Schoolboy Rowe took the loss as he gave up 7 earned runs. Ouch. Jensen takes the win, 5 earned runs and 9. Again, good day hitting for the Giants. Marshall had 3 hits. So anyway, a good game. So the Giants go to 2-0. The Phillies drop to 0-2, and this is the last I'm doing as scheduled. So in real life, there was actually only 1 game today in the major leagues, and that was the Cardinals at the Reds. But there's as scheduled lineup, there's a full slate. So I've got 4 games in the American League to go in the second, so I might get a game of those. But wanted to get a game up. Again, been playing quite a bit, but wanted to get one up on the channel. So there you have it. Live from Shibe Park, the New York Giants 10, the Philadelphia Phillies 5. And I will see you next time.